Good night of Shabbos, Parshas Bulak. So this week's Parsha is talking about Geula. Very, very powerful stuff about um, describing, in other words, being seen by the most opposite force that there existed. The blessing is when giving somebody the compliment. So seeing the person and its quality, seeing the person its potential. Its potential is the word. Seeing the person its potential. That is bringing the awareness to that space, to that energy, to that vibration, and waking that up. And depends who you're being seen by, how truthful the vision is. Glianaim. So Bilam was, as brought down, was Laikam Novi Moshe. There's nobody going to be like Moshe except for Bilam, and Bilam was even higher than that, higher than Moshe. Because of the Erev Rav, this, that, and the other, but bottom line is because of the Erev that Moshe only went to Neshama, couldn't go into Chai Yechida, that, whatever the program was. But Bilam was able, and he saw, and at the end of the day, when he started going back to the source, all the way to the source, he was forced to say the blessings of Yisrael. He was forced to bless, because when he went into the ultimate, when the Klippa was done, he was forced to give the brachas. He had no choice. It means that his power realized that there's a stronger power there. He's being controlled by something else. That's why his donkey was speaking to, says this farm, that he was just like the donkey. The same way the donkey is able to speak. Donkey speaks. What does the donkey know? It speaks. There's just absolute has been taken over by something else. So too is Bilam was the same way. So the Pasha Gula is because being seen by Bilam, the biggest Navi from the Goen, Tumah, right? I don't understand it exactly. That's why I have to say Tumah, why some Bilam, Harasha, whatever it is. So we shouldn't confuse, because it gets a little confusing for those who English is not the first language that we're talking about. That he was bigger. He was a navi. What does it mean to be a navi? The koyach hatuma. It's a power. It's a power of manifestation. It's the navi is speaking the words of Hashem. So he had that koyach, and when he was speaking against, he wanted to curse the Eden. He was forced to bless, and he tapped into his boss. Says the Degel Machna Ephraim that why did it have to be this way? It was we need Bilam to approve, to validate our brachas. The koich of Eibishter, of the Creator all, it doesn't have the koich to. It needs Bilam to validate, to confirm on the brachas. Says the Degel Machna Ephraim, yes, because the koich we're tapped into the koich Ein Sof. Literally to the Koyach Ein Sof. Everything is coming from the Koyach Ein Sof, but at some point it maxes out, and because it's a clip and has such a strong ego that it has to believe it can't go Ein Sof. It has to believe that there is some sort of a specific Koyach. It can't tap into the higher Koyach of the Ein Sof. But Ayid is connected to the Ein Sof, so if it's connected to the Ein Sof, the blessings, the brachas have to come all the way. It has to go Ein Sof, even through the clip, even through this illusion of the other side. The illusion of the other side, which is because there's such a powerful, strong presence of light that wants to be revealed, that was revealed. Therefore, once it goes into duality, there has to be duality. And when you go into Eitz Hadas Tov Ra, then that other side of Sveika show up too. It exists. It's a real. It's as far as they're concerned, it's a real thing. Because they don't have the koyach to go further to Ein Sof. As far as they're concerned, it's a real thing. And a Yid has the koyach Ein Sof. They can go all the way. All the way means that till it goes from duality to becoming echad once again, to being fully going into to echad. Yeah, echad oneness, yichida. The Dveikis, let's go with that for now. The Dveikis connecting. So here is where the klippa was exposed. The choshech was exposed to the place to a point where it just fully played all his cards, and he ended up getting killed. That's how it played out. Imagine the big koich, and he ended up getting killed. So that shows the burst of that bubble. So yeah, Bilam was Balak. Balak was a visionary, and Bilam was a prophet. Balak was a visionary. He saw He saw things, and the Zohar explains the beautiful stuff, the story how they did it with the bird. And he had this bird called Yedua, and they would take the tongue of that bird and put it into a bird made out of copper, gold, and silver, and take the tongue from the bird. And it was a whole process, a beautiful process. Yeah, it was kishuf. And then he would talk to this bird, and this one day he used to send out this bird, and this bird would pick up and tell him what he saw by way of communication. He would ask it a question, it would respond. And one day came back, and one of its wings were burning. So he saw what he saw. What did he see? He saw Yisrael. He saw Bnei Yisrael. He saw a koyach that he did not. It put a fear in him. Because by Yergam put a fear. Apachad, because then it says ergish v'mavis, says the Zohar. Ergish because dying is one thing. I guess here we're talking about completely ceasing to exist, like you become os. Because if that light is revealed, if that light takes over, it's k'choich asher. It goes all the way to the end, which means it leaves no doubt, because it's such a strong light. It's such a truth that anything shaker will eventually cease to exist, because it's just an illusion. It's just there to as a shadow. It's a meshigaz, says the Rebbe in the Sikha. It's a meshigaz. The ganze Sache is a meshigaz. It's a shagaon. It's a craziness in the head. Being taken it so all serious. It's the other side. It's the klippa. I mean, talking about the problems, taking it serious. So you have Balak, and then you have. So he was dealing with the bird, and then he asked the bird. He would say and he would say Rav. He would respond Rav, and then he said. He said Am, he said Yisrael, and he said Godel, he said Rav, and the bird responded Godel, and that's when he saw Glianaim. He had a flash of what we're dealing with over here, a level of truth, a level of oneness dvekas that he has no place in. There's no negotiations. It's over. So by going into Parshas Balak is where Bilam was exposing. From the brachas, says Rashi, from the brachas we see the klolas that he wanted to give, right? So we're talking about one pushing the other. So the Torah is talking, it only tells us the brachas, and Rashi is telling us that from the brachas you're going to see what he wanted, the klolas that he wanted to give. What's the purpose? Where is Rashi sending us? It's sending us to understanding that whatever you're feeling stuckness, there is the other side of the bracha. That's the other side of the bracha. So going into the bracha, learn the pasha. Definitely learn the pasha. Learn the brachas. Learn the kriyas Torah. Even kriyas Torah is being masaking the oizen from whatever kalim are going up there. Talmud Kudas Tagam Oisius. So yeah. So we should all enter in the space of pushing back from the center, pushing back, finding your truth, finding the bracha within you, and pushing back the other side of the bracha, which means that Rashi is telling us how to use the bracha. He's facilitating how to use the bracha. It's like take the brachas and push it back. Push back into your whatever is holding you back. Pushing away the illusion of the not the bracha. It's pushing it. It's just pushing it, feeling the kvetch and pushing back. You don't have to understand nothing. Just push it, just clearing. Imagine you're clearing your chest of smoke. You're just clearing it. There's a fog, and then you just clearing it out, pushing. Right? I think in yoga they have a word for it, the mulam bandha, where you're squeezing all the muscles, pushing the energy out. All right. Have an awesome Shabbos, and we should already enter the cloud of Geula. Okay, so look, I'm sure there's things that I'm going to remember soon that I wanted to share specifically this week. But I think I pretty much covered the whole spiel. All right. Chaim Lavrucha, we should be able to tap into what we know and become one with the oisias that we know, not just repeat it. We should saturate. The bracha should be chal. Shabbos.